Where would we be in this news, trade rumors, and updates video if we didn't dive into the biggest contract signed today? Just at the beginning of the video here, we're going to dive into Logan Cooley because he inked himself an 8-year extension with an AAV of $10 million. Look at this beautiful graphic on the Utah Mammoth's website here, folks. Logan Cooley, 8-year contract extension, average annual value of $10 million a pop, straight out of his ELC. Logan Cooley is excited to sign an 8-year deal with the Mammoth. Choosing to play with this group of teammates was the easiest part of this decision, and living in Utah has been amazing since day one. Now, I don't know if y'all been paying attention, but Logan Cooley is one of the best gosh darn players in the league, point production-wise. 12 points, 11 games so far. He's on pace for about 90 points, which would be a really nice career high. He's had 3 different franchises on the jersey that he wears. Arizona Coyotes, Utah Hockey Club, and Utah Mammoth, all to start out his NHL career. Hopefully, the next few years all say the same team instead of varying it up. But the Mammoth have been so good. Nick Schmaltz is one of the top point producers in the league as well. I mean, he's out there tied for second, not to mention Genther, Peterka, Hayton. This team's just been cooking, and Logan Cooley is a very big part of this team and its future. So congratulations to him. But let's get into our other update for the NHL and its rumor world, because we had ourselves TSN Insider Trading from yesterday, diving into the future of guys like Nazem Kadri, Pavel Zacha, and a bunch of other notes. TSN Insider Trading, of course, it's the video segment with Lebrun'S and Dreger, and I wanted to give a big shout out over to Canucks News Summaries, who went out there and summarized a lot of what was talked about on the program. Starting out with Nazem Kadri at the top of the image here. Darren Dreger led this one. Lots of speculation on Kadri is being driven by the media. Dreger also says that the Canadiens, the Canucks, and maybe even the Maple Leafs could envision Kadri in their lineup. The Flames love him, however, and they haven't decided to tear down their roster. Now, that's not all too surprising. Nazem Kadri, a part of a Calgary Flames team that is not really doing all too well. They've only won once so far in this young NHL campaign. And Nazem Kadri is on pace for about 60 points, which, considering the circumstances, is actually not that bad. We've been cutting, pasting, and repeating ourselves the past few days, but Nazem Kadri, pretty good center in my opinion. I know a lot of folks would go out there and not necessarily say that he moves the needle too much, but honestly, give this guy better line mates, put him in a better spot. I think you're probably going to get a lot better out of Nazem Kadri. He was a 100-point pace caliber guy just a few years ago in Colorado when he ended up winning his Stanley Cup and becoming a free agent to sign a contract that he's got with Calgary at the moment. 75-point season just 2 seasons ago. That's not bad, folks. And last year he had 67 points as well and 35 goals. Kadri, for $7 million a year heading into the long-term future. Obviously, that contract is not going to look too bad as the cap continues to go up, but he is 35 years old, so his performance hopefully is able to sustain itself heading into those next few years. But Darren Dreger's saying the Canadiens, the Canucks, the Maple Leafs, they could all be involved here, all thinking about Nazem Kadri as a potential option. Speaking about the Canucks, though, Pierre Lebrun went out there and confirmed that the Canucks did indeed reach out to the Boston Bruins in trade talks for Pavel Zacha in the summer. The Bruins view Zacha as a long-term fit. Don't be surprised if they try to extend him in the summer instead of trading him away. So, Pavel Zacha, also another option. We've talked about him a bunch in various videos, and earlier today, we spoke about what apparently it is the Boston Bruins would want from Vancouver in a Pavel Zacha trade. Vittorio Mancini, walk on down. But other than that, we have ourselves some more interesting notes. This is at the bottom here. It's not about Kadri or Zacha. Darren Dreger starts talking about the upcoming World Cup of Hockey and how Calgary and Edmonton as hosts is a possibility for 2028. They submitted bids at the start of the week. There's a loose deadline, and other teams are going to submit bids as well. Dreger says that Montreal and Vancouver already did, and Vegas, Tampa Bay, and Dallas are likely to try and get their hands in there too and submit a bid. So it seems like the World Cup of Hockey coming back is going to gauge a lot of interest. We already saw back in 2016 the Toronto World Cup of Hockey was so successful. It was amazing to see that go down between Team North America, Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, and Nathan McKinnon playing together, to the crazy overtime game they had with Sweden, the Sedins, and Henrik Lundqvist. I mean, the World Cup of Hockey in 2016 was so peak. I even have a bunch of the figurines from that time frame. Imports Dragon, y'all. And we'll see whether or not that all comes back in 2028. Another Team North America of U23 Canadian and Americans would be super interesting. Who'd be on that team that year? Connor Bedard? I don't know. Let's scroll down and read what Pierre Lebrun has to say about the Colorado Avalanche. There's no question that the Avalanche want to re-sign Cale Makar as fast as possible. The Avs have explained to Marty Necas' agent that they need to leave room for Makar's next contract, and they're also confident they can re-sign Necas. There's a lot of pressure on the Avalanche to re-sign Necas after everything that went down with Mikko Rantanen last year. So, Cale Makar is on a contract that expires at the end of 2027. So, he's got this year, and then he's got next year. There is going to be a rush to wanting to sign this guy. He's not eligible for an extension yet, but the Avalanche would want to get that done. He could get upwards of $17 million realistically. There's a lot of money that Cale Makar can have on the table. He's only making $9 million a year right now, which is like Darnell Nurse money if you really think about it. And so far, Makar is at 15 points in 11 games. He's doing very well, that Cale Makar. He could go out there and eclipse 100, really. Quinn Hughes is no longer the top defenseman in the league, in my opinion. Cale Makar has retaken that spot, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that Quinn just isn't really playing that well this season. But you also have Marty Necas, whose contract expires this year. It's kind of questionable because Necas' contract expires a year before Makar's does. Necas is eligible for an extension now. Makar ain't eligible till next summer. And the Avalanche, obviously, they need to plan for this guy a little bit more than they need to plan with this guy. It's just kind of the unfortunate timing of things that Colorado's new top-line superstar that was essentially the Mikko Rantanen replacement is also going to go through an entire contract ordeal with the team too. If they just buckled down and signed Rantanen to the $12 million that he ended up getting, I think everybody would have been happy. But instead, nah, they've got Marty Necas, and admittedly, he's been really good. I mean, he's got 13 points in 11 games played so far. It's not Cale Makar level, but still, he's fine. It's just the Avalanche are going to have to make some decisions, but LeBron is saying they are confident they can re-sign both of these players. LeBron then talks about Artemi Panarin at the bottom here. The Rangers, they're not in a rush to discuss extension with Panarin. They also want to see how the season develops, and LeBron also thinks that term will be an issue. Panarin is not going to settle for a short-term deal. So, there you go. Some more Artemi Panarin updates for y'all. He's 33 years old, signed on till the end of this season, $11.6 million a year. I mean, he's going to get a lot of money, but he doesn't want to go short term. This year, he's only got 7 points in 11 games, but the Rangers have been really bad. He's been over a point per game, well over it the past few seasons. This year, he's on pace to go under for the first time in... oh boy, literally the first time in his career he would go under a point per game in the NHL, right? Oh no, never mind. He had those early Chicago years where he was only at 70-something points in 80 games, so this would be a pretty significant season for Panarin if he doesn't eclipse that 82-point mark on the season. But either way, seems like the Rangers are going to have themselves a handful in trying to re-sign this guy. He doesn't want to go short-term, and they don't really know how much money they want to give him. But at the end of the day, LeBron is saying here that the Rangers are not in a rush to sign the guy. They want to see how the season goes. So with all this in mind, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Nazem Kadri, Pavel Zacha, the World Cup of Hockey, Utah re-signing Logan Cooley, and how everything else plays into it as well? If you enjoyed this update in regards to the NHL and what's going on, please leave a like rating. It helps out with the algorithm. Comments help out too, so I'd really appreciate those. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.